If you want to talk about health outcomes, conservatives are fatter. Conservatives are fatter. They are less healthy than liberals. They get less exercise and then tend to eat shittier diets. So we're looking at this like pure health. If we tend to be pure health, if you want, listen, I know you like to live in anecdotes. Download Tinder and go to. I lived in fucking Nebraska. Let me tell you, the girls on Tinder in Nebraska are a lot different than the girls in LA, Miami, New York, Seattle, Portland. It's not even fucking close.
If we have a proper funneling at the border, we can have people come in, family comes in, oh, we're seeking asylum. Because right now,
what do you think is the approval right now for asylum claims?
For asylum claims?
Well, yeah, like what percentage of people do you think get approved?
I mean, honestly, and I don't necessarily believe numbers that are coming out with that, because the numbers that people are saying, but then the actual cases that we're seeing throughout our country is just, there's complete disparity between that.
How do you know?
Because we're seeing over 10 million individuals that are coming through.
How do you know there's 10 million? How do you know it's not 5 million or 20 million?
Because we have numbers from Border Patrol, which actually they're estimating is a lot closer to 15 million.
Wait, so why would you trust those numbers but not the numbers about asylum being approved or denied?
Because a lot of the process with asylum is there's no clear process. It's very clear to be able to count how many people are crossing through our borders.
Wait, first of all, how is it so easy to count people that are sneaking into the country? Isn't that literally like an oxymoron? Like, isn't these...
Well, there's two different types of illegal immigrants that we're seeing. There's gotaways and there's give-ups. The give-ups are typically those that are quote-unquote seeking asylum, which are very easy to count. But those people, we wouldn't count those people as illegal immigrants, right? We are, because they're illegal immigrants.
Wait. By definition, or what does illegal mean to you? What does that word mean, I guess?
Crossing through the border without a legal process.
Okay, what is the asylum process? Is that an illegal process?
I don't think we have one right now.
Hold on, let me just be very clear. You legitimately believe that right now in the United States of America, we have no formal process for how to process somebody for asylum?
Correct.
So
specifically because of the CB1 app.
So you think that when people come in and they see a judge, do they just like do the whole...
They're not seeing judges. They're not seeing judges.
What do they get slips for court dates? What's the court date for?
ICE straight up released these statistics that 425,000 of these illegal immigrants are criminals. 225 of those have pending criminal records that are being processed right now.
Can we just think let's think, how could you ever know that? Let's think about that. Like, let's say that I tell you that there's an invisible purple unicorn, right? I feel like the question would be, well, how do you know if it's purple, if it's invisible, right? So I'm asking if
it's like you can make that argument for any statistic that the government releases.
Try one.
You could say, how could they give us all the numbers of people that died from COVID?
The way that they give the numbers from people that die from COVID is because every single hospital has death certificates, and then they have a whole system of logging patient symptoms, patient diagnoses, and then they do processing based on state mandates.
What about those that died from COVID that weren't directly COVID related? What about those that died from COVID?
What about them?
We never needed COVID.
Wait.
Why? Because the people that are, which is a little off topic, but the people that they're saying died from COVID, a lot of those individuals died from other causes, but they just had COVID at the time.
What do you mean by that? But the COVID might have been the thing that caused them to... You have multiple things that can cause a person to die, right? They might list it as a thing on the death certificate.
No, they will say that they died from COVID.
I don't believe
that was part of the thing.
Even if I did grant you all of that, which is not true, but even if I did grant you all of that, you just explained the process. So then whatever you were saying before doesn't work, right? Like, the fact that you can even say this means that there is a process by which we can check data and look, right?
I'm simply just trusting what ICE has put out.
You're saying that over and over again. I'm just asking, if there's no process to vet people coming into this country illegally, how can we know they have criminal background?
Our country is turning into one of the most unhealthy countries in the world. The way that big pharma and the way that the pharmaceutical companies in this country push for opioids, for these painkillers that only cause secondary symptoms so that you have to go back to the doctor. I mean, think about it.
What do you mean a painkiller causes a secondary symptom? A painkiller is prescribed if you are experiencing pain. That's what a painkiller is for. They don't cure things. They treat a symptom.
They prescribe opioids like they hand out candy at Halloween.
No, they don't. They've dramatically cut down on the prescriptions for opioids, obviously, because they were prescribing too many in the past. That's fine. You learn. Same thing with amoxicillin.
When I had a very, 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 very minor surgery, and they were trying to give me Oxycontin. They were trying to give me so many of these opioids that I didn't need any. I didn't even need Tylenol. They would go out of business if they actually helped people get healthier and stay healthier.
I'm just curious. Is Is oil a self-replenishing resource, or is there like a limited amount in the ground?
What does that have to do with this?
It's it's an EPA question is what I'm getting into, but
I mean, I don't think that's applicable to this conversation.
Well, no, because I have a question about like the EPA and like fossil fuel stuff. I'm just curious, like, is oil self-replenishing, or is there a limited amount in the ground?
I believe there's a limited amount.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, I was just curious.
I mean, I just think it's like maybe I'm hypercritical of our government, but I think maybe you're not critical enough.
No, it's not even being critical at it. So you don't live in the real world, right? If you want to talk about health outcomes, conservatives are fatter. Conservatives are fatter. They are less healthy than liberals. They get less exercise and then tend to eat shittier diets. So we're looking at this like pure health. If we tend to be pure health, if you want, listen, I know you like to live in anecdotes. Download Tinder and go to. I lived in fucking Nebraska. Let me tell you, the girls on Tinder in Nebraska are a lot different than the girls in LA, Miami, New York, Seattle, Portland. It's not even fucking close. Okay. So yes, conservatives tend to be fatter. They tend to be less healthy. They tend to have worse health outcomes. That's why more of them died to COVID because more of them were fat and they died because they were more. Hold on, let me finish. You got a whole ass thing, okay? You want to talk about you don't like drugs because you think that the pharmaceutical companies are just trying to make money off of all of us and that's all they're doing, but you don't even support the most like ideal form of preventative care. I'm guessing. Well, hold on. Let me ask a question. How did you feel about the vaccines?
The vaccines? Was terrible.
There you go. See, so that's the thing. That's a thing that big pharma did research into, and vaccines are technically bad for pharma because why would you give somebody a vaccine for an illness when you could treat them for the illness over and over and over again? So that's an example of pharmaceutical companies that research things and invest in things. So you're sitting here. So you're sitting here saying, I don't believe in ADHD medication. I believe in Eastern medicine, and then you're saying because even though you have no research to back it, and then you'll go turn around and say, I don't believe in vaccines either. So like, what do you believe? You believe in nothing. You have no data. You've got no sources. You've got no science. You've got no outcomes. You've got the fact that conservatives are fatter and less healthy. You've got the fact that conservative states don't even want to feed their fucking kids in school. Everything you're making is just like a delusional argument. It's not rooted in reality for any single part of this. Like there's nothing to respond to.
Okay, so now that your rant's done, let's look at actual statistics. The increase that we're seeing with autism specifically not only is directly related to an increase in the certain amino acid, what was it called? PPA, I believe it's called. I have it right here, actually. I mean, there's a reason why when I was born, I only had to get 5 vaccines.
How old? What are you, like 150 years old? How old are you?
I'm 24.
And you only had to get 4 vaccines?
I had to get 5, yeah.
I don't believe you. I don't think that's true.
How do you feel about like the smallpox vaccine?
Oh wait, also, just as a quick thing, because it's funny to listen to him talk. Notice how like if some guy is like suffocating on his own fucking, phlegm and breath and he's dying of COVID in the hospital, conservatives will be like, well, it didn't count as a COVID death. He was also obese. He also had like this underlying illness. That's not a COVID death. But like if somebody gets vaccinated and then they drop dead from a random fucking thing, 3 days ago, it was 100% a vaccine caused death. Like at that, all we need is the one vaccine, and we know that no matter why they died, it was caused by the vaccine. Like it's ridiculous, but. Why is the chance of getting smallpox so low?
That wasn't my question.
No, but I'm curious. You said that the chance of getting it is so low today. Wait, why is it?
Smallpox has been eradicated because of vaccines, is what Steven's getting at. Smallpox is eradicated effectively because of vaccines.
Okay, but that wasn't my question.
Wait, is that true though? Were smallpox eradicated because of vaccines?
Oh, I'm not some like crazy hippie guy that says don't get a single vaccine, but you need to have an awareness of it's a benefit versus risk argument.
Was smallpox eradicated because of vaccines?
I haven't gotten the flu vaccine in close to 15 years.
Okay.
I'm just curious. The flu.
What about that though? Was smallpox eradicated because of vaccines?
Yeah, I'm not making that argument.
Would smallpox have been eradicated if you just got a vaccine for smallpox if you wanted to, or was it eradicated because everybody was forced to get vaccinated against it?
I mean that's an interesting argument to make.
No, it's not. It's a very straightforward argument.
I don't know if you. But you can't make the claim that it specifically was eradicated because everybody got it.
Do you think if only 20% of the population got it, you think it would have been eradicated?
I mean, you can look at like something like the flu. The numbers of people getting the flu has dramatically decreased from, say, 2000 to now.
Has it?
Yes.
Don't flu deaths fluctuate pretty ordinarily between like 10 and 60,000 a year?
No.
I mean,
why does it make it look like hospitalization and deaths for the past like 10, 15 years for the flu have been like kind of like up and down? Like,
I'm talking about something else. I feel like I bring up solid points, and then you kind of just
well, you don't bring up anything. You bring up like anecdotes and random fact, and then when I fact check you, you're always wrong. You're wrong on literally everything, and then you want to move on to the next thing, of course, because you have no data to back anything.
That's where your mindset is at.
Yeah, in the factual world, I'm aware.